Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be ranking the best 1 through 9 hitters in baseball. There are a few ground rules that I have to establish before we do so. Obviously, this ranking isn't the best 9 hitters in baseball. It's the best player at each spot in the batting order. Obviously, lineups change every day, so my one guy may not be hitting leadoff every single day, but he'd have to have hit there often either recently or at some point during the season. Also, you may not see many players from like the Yankees, for instance, because their lineup changes a ton, so there aren't many players hitting in that same spot for that team often. I'll also be doing honorable mentions for each spot as well, so without further ado, let's begin. Fernando Tatis Jr. to me is one of the most exciting players in baseball, if not the most exciting player in baseball right now. I think he may end up being the best 5-tool player since Ken Griffey Jr. The kid has great power, already being on a 40-plus homer pace for a full season. He hits in the 300s, he steals bases, he's an incredible defender. If he had played a full season, I think the Rookie of the Year would easily be his, but since he hasn't, you should expect an extremely close race to the finish line with Pete Alonso. Is this even a surprise? Trout is one of the best players to ever step on a field. He's finished first or second in the MVP vote 6 out of the last 7 seasons, and he'll most certainly be winning his third this year at age 28. Hitting your best player second is a newer trend in baseball that I never really saw growing up. A 2-hitter nowadays can hit 40-plus homers in a season, which is something that you never used to see. Trout is going to continue to be the face of baseball over the next few years, maybe even for the next decade plus, which is probably likely, so I can't wait to see what he does next. Freddie Freeman is one of the game's most underrated and consistent hitters year to year. He's hit over 304 straight years with his OPS hovering in the high 900s, and he's going to hit 30 homers again this year. He was a top 20 position player last year in wins above replacement, so it just shows how valuable he is to that young Braves core. He's been the face of the Braves for a while, and with the team's younger guys like Acuna and Albies producing the way that everybody knows that they can, I hope he'll get more recognition in the future as the Braves seal out more success. Unbeknownst to nobody, Cody Bellinger is having an MVP caliber year. I've already made a video discussing him and Yelich. If you haven't seen that already, you can go check it out on the channel. He's been great since his call-up in 2017, in which he won Rookie of the Year and set the NL record for homers in a rookie season. His defense has been pretty superb this year too, and he's been no stranger to the highlight reel. He's one of those guys I don't really need to give the stats on because you know he's that good, but here's a stat you don't see that often anymore. In 2018, Bellinger played in all 162 games, and you gotta respect that. Now everyone hears about Tatis and Alonso, but I think the most impressive offensive rookie we've seen this year is Astro slugger Yordan Alvarez. He's on pace right now for 57 homers in a full 162 game season, give or take, and he's hitting over 346 over his first 48 games in the major leagues. The sample size is small, but he seems like the real deal. He is yet another example of why the Astros truly are a cheat code in the game of baseball. The former number 1 overall draft pick and Rookie of the Year is having another good season for the Houston Astros. He's currently slugging a career-high .561, he already has 17 homers in 66 games, and would be on a pace for a career high if he hadn't gotten hurt. He can still pick it at short too, with a .992 fielding percentage. He's just another example of a great Astros franchise. Oh look, another Houston Astro. This is definitely the widest talent gap between the honorable mentions and the number 1 pick. There aren't many good number 7 hitters in baseball, but Yuli Gurriel is a really good number 7 hitter. He's hitting .302 with 23 homers and 81 RBI in the number 7 slot for an Astros team with incredible offensive depth. Yuli has been great the past few years, but this year he's really found his stride. It's still crazy to think that this guy is hitting 7th. It's just not fair. So now for number 8, the pool for good number 8 hitters is obviously small. Charlie Culberson's our pick here. He's been playing pretty well recently. He's hitting over 390 games this year, and he's been filling in for Dansby Swanson at short for the Braves recently, so he's been seeing a lot more playing time. Not too much to say here. The 8 slot is a pretty dry one, as I'm sure you can expect, but Charlie Culberson is our number 8 guy. So the 9 spot is a bit tricky. Since pitchers don't hit in the American League, it would be kind of weird to rank a number 9 hitter that applies to both leagues. So instead, I'll rank a DH slot, which won't include any DHs that were already ranked or mentioned honorably, and I'll rank a pitcher slot also. Remember when everyone was calling JD Martinez an overrated player when he signed his contract with the Red Sox? Well, I think it's safe to say that he proved those guys wrong. I was a big advocate for him in the MVP race last year, given how ridiculous his stats were. This year, he's doing a lot of the same things for the Red Sox. Even though they're struggling, he's having a tremendous season. He's been an all-star both years for the team. He's going to have another 30 homer, 100 RBI, 300 average season, and that's more than you could possibly ask from a player. The former Cy Young winner happens to be a stud behind the plate as well. It's a shame he's headed over to the American League. He's actually better than some Major League hitters out there, and even way better than some hitters too. Aaron Altair. He has a .224 lifetime batting average with 9 homers. For someone who pitched in the American League for the first 6 seasons of his career, that's pretty darn good. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my list down below. If you like this style of video and you want to see more like it, you can tell me down below as well. Don't be too worried if you didn't see your favorite player on here. This isn't your typical ranking list, since position in the batting order is the key here. A like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.